Caitlin Clark didn't simply appear on Travis and Jason Kelce's New Heights podcast. She completely took charge of the show and made it feel like her moment from start to finish.
Joining us today for a special edition of New News is the 6-foot guard from Iowa. She's the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history, the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. She's a two-time WNBA All-Star, 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, the 2024 Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, and she is the first and now last guest of New Heights in the 2025 season.
In one of her most open and personal talks so far, Caitlin Clark joins the New Heights podcast and finally shares the details fans have been eager to hear, including the real story behind her signature shoe, what returning to the game was truly like after a season affected by injuries, where Team USA fits into her future plans, and why this new phase of her career feels so different from before. The conversation is genuine, lighthearted, and at moments unexpectedly emotional. This is not just another routine sports interview. It is Caitlin giving listeners a deeper look into her life and mindset, and once you hear what she reveals, it becomes clear why everyone has been buzzing about this episode. Stay tuned because Caitlin also teases a major announcement about her upcoming shoe, and be sure to share your thoughts in the comments about how excited you are for her signature release.
Let's go! 92%ers, please welcome back to the show, Caitlin Clark!
I'm back. I'm honored you guys brought me back on. I must have not have been too bad the first time, I guess.
Permanent invite.
For Caitlin Clark, the Nike moment did not happen by chance. It was built over years of steady work and growing trust. When she talks about her new campaign, she makes it clear that this is not about a quick promotion or grabbing attention for a short time, but about beginning a much larger journey, one that shows her partnership with Nike moving into a fresh phase with a long-term plan behind it. She explains that this launch is not the final goal, is the starting path for what is coming next, including the signature shoe that fans have been eagerly waiting to see.
Honored to be a part of your Nike launch, being a part of the commercial that is. How's it feel? How's it feel to finally have it all out there? And I know it was a long time coming.
Definitely a long time coming, been in the works for quite some time. And obviously, this is kind of launching like a whole year where my shoe eventually will come out. Wearing it on the court this coming season. So
nice.
That's probably what I'm most excited for. But just getting the people more excited with the logo, and obviously I already have some merch out, which you're proudly rocking, which I appreciate.
What makes this moment feel so different is how deeply personal it is for Caitlin, as she explains that the ad truly represents who she is, showing her real story, her people, and the path that led her here rather than a created image. You can hear the pride in her voice as she talks about finally seeing that vision become real, and her excitement grows when she looks ahead to what it will mean to step on the court in her own shoe, because this is no longer just about wearing Nike. It is about wearing something that is truly hers.
So exciting, and a lot of the people that were obviously in the commercial, you two, and Travis Scott was in it, my college basketball coach was in it, and then just some other people that have kind of been huge fans throughout my career, or have been a part since I was either in high school or now professionally. So I felt like the ad was very me. So that was super cool, and it was fun to shoot, and just really thankful that everybody was a part of it, and especially you guys. So you made it fun. You brought the energy.
The tone changes when Caitlin starts sharing what the past year truly asked of her, explaining that it was not just a single setback, but a string of injuries that challenged her patience, her mindset, and her passion for training. She speaks openly about how exhausting it felt, yet there is no bitterness in her words, only a clear understanding that frustration is part of the process, and that sometimes real growth comes from being made to pause when all you want is to be back on the court.
Should we talk back on the basketball court a little bit?
Let's get into it.
So back on the court, Team USA practice. How you feeling?
It was fun, obviously, to get back out there. It had been a minute. So, it was just obviously a long and tough year of reoccurring injuries. And you guys know how that goes. When you get one nagging thing, it kind of leads to another. So it wasn't obviously how I envisioned it. And it stunk, but we still kind of found a way. Our team, we had 6 of our players go down with injuries. It was unreal. And we still had a great year, made it to the semifinals. And yeah, we were a game away from the finals. And so that was pretty impressive considering kind of what we went through.
What keeps her outlook steady is the bigger picture, as Caitlin reflects on everything the Indiana Fever went through together during a season filled with injuries, changing lineups, and non-stop challenges. Even with all of that, they continued to compete, stayed united, and pushed forward. And when she mentions being just one win away from the finals, it puts the whole year into a new light, showing that the season was not defined by setbacks but by strength. And in that moment, her return becomes a story of resilience rather than sympathy or simply getting by.
Long process to like just get back on the court, because when you have like the groins and the quads and whatever you're dealing with, it's like you don't run for a while, so like it's weird like learning to run again in a way, and then on top of that, like going to like play versus the best players again and like just getting tossed out back into the fire. But it was fun. Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have wanted any other way. Like, you get thrown back out there with the best players in the world and you see like you're right where you were before you got hurt. And it was only 3 days, so it was cool. And it was at Duke, which is obviously one of the most historic basketball places ever. So that was a pretty cool thing too. And kind of kicks off like the next cycle for like preparing for the Olympics. And then we have the World Cup in 2026.
When Caitlin begins speaking about Team USA, the mood becomes more focused as she makes it clear there is no gentle return or warm-up period, but rather being dropped right back into high-pressure competition. She describes training alongside the best players in the world, where every repetition counts and nothing is handed to you, serving as a reminder that this level requires immediate readiness, not comfort.
So hopefully I'm on the team for that. And obviously my goal is to be on the Olympic team in 2028. So it feels like it's far away, but it's probably actually way closer than it sounds.
She then makes it clear that her mindset is not built around short-term plans, as Caitlin calmly outlines her long-range vision with focus, naming the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics as her targets. There is no hype and no promises, only clear intention, showing the mindset of a player who is not just preparing for the next WNBA season, but is steadily working to build an international career, one goal and one cycle at a time.
We see you in this picture with Cameron Brink rocking number 17.
I know.
Where'd the 17 come? Was that just a jersey
I didn't get to pick,
you get?
But
I was about to say for these practices, they kind of just hand you over. 17's
not the best number ever. I wouldn't have picked that.
Caitlin then goes on to share the real story behind how the well-known number 17 became part of her journey and what it truly means to her.
The players that like have been on the national team prior get to continue wearing their jersey, like that practice number jersey or their jersey, obviously until like they're done playing on the Olympic team or whatever happens for the next Olympics. And then all us newcomers, there's a lot of young people at that camp. We just get assigned a random number. I guess I got 17. Nobody asked me, but it was fine.
All right, so are you just stuck in 17 now in perpetuity though? Do you get to change it maybe in the future?
So if I eventually make the team, it's weird, like, because international basketball, that you only, I think it's 4 through 15. Those are the only numbers. So you have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What?
Isn't that weird?
Wow.
Like, you don't get to pick.
Is that real?
Yeah, well, at least for
That's
the United
crazy.
States. Yeah.
I did not know that.
She then shares a memorable and meaningful story that adds a personal and interesting layer to everything she has been talking about.
Because when I've played junior national teams in the past, we have like a bag tag, like a sticker on your backpack, and it says like all the players that have worn your jersey. So it'd be like,
so dope.
If you're number 6, it'd be like LeBron. I think he was number 6.
dope.
Or like, and then you'd have the women's players and obviously all the men's players, which is really cool. You get to see who kind of has worn your jersey.
After discussing what it is like to compete against the best players in the world, the conversation shifts to a more playful tone when the dunking debate comes up, and Caitlin laughs as she explains why dunking is not really part of her game and why she is completely fine with that. With Jason Kelce adding his usual wild energy, the exchange makes one thing clear: dunking may look impressive, but it is not what defines true basketball skill.
Do you feel more comfortable that I could maybe dunk in a few weeks or get better at shooting?
In a few weeks? Oh boy. Is that what we're calling that? All you need is a few
30
weeks.
days.
30 days. 30 days is what I'm going for.
Oh gosh. Trav, can you still dunk, you think?
Are you kidding me? You name it. I go between the legs right now. No, not all like that. I can definitely dunk though. I'll have that in the bag till I'm at least like 50, I think. Jason, I told him he had to lose at least 20 pounds and get the technique down perfectly.
I think you could do it though. I think you need to start with like a tennis ball. Then you get the tennis ball, you go to like a volleyball, then you go to a basketball.
Okay. All right.
Work your way up.
Caitlin keeps the humor going while still sharing real insight, explaining that shooting is a skill anyone can truly develop, while dunking is mostly tied to genetics and timing. And once she starts talking about poor shooting habits, her tone shifts into a fun but firm big sister style. She jokes about how badly people's form can get when no one corrects it early on, and how those habits end up sticking around much longer than most players ever expect.
Ask me, I obviously don't dunk. Heck no. I could maybe like grab the rim, but like I'm not anywhere close to that. I just shoot threes and that's good.
Shoot it from anywhere.
How easy is it for somebody to learn how to shoot who can't shoot? Just hypothetically speaking, not for myself.
Honestly, like, I feel like if you're willing to like learn, and like, that's the problem I feel like with a lot of like young kids and like young basketball players, their form is like so jacked up, but like, I feel like it's a pretty easy thing to pick up on like from a young age. So that's always what I tell like young kids, like make sure your form is always good and then you like kind of work your way back. But that's what I would always say the most important.
Then comes the familiar dad story, as Caitlin laughs about how she used to get frustrated growing up because her father would not let her fire from the logo, even when others were impressed, choosing instead to slow her down, fix her mechanics, and stop her from taking careless shots. She admits she disliked it back then, but now she finds herself on a podcast breaking down basketball basics with Jason Kelce, which might be the clearest sign that his approach truly paid off.
I would get mad at my dad when I was a young girl because he wouldn't let me like just launch threes because like my elbows would be out like this. I'd be like throwing it like that because I wasn't strong enough, and then it like ruins your form, and then you have those habits like going on through the rest of your career. So, but I mean, I think if you're like willing to learn, and like I think that would be easier than learning to dunk if you like couldn't jump, like you're trying to like become explosive again, I guess. I feel like standing there and being like this would be a little easier.
You said that you're wearing the new kicks coming up this season.
Yeah.
I honestly, for everyone that doesn't know like the process that goes into like making the sneakers, like how long in advance has it been, or like when does it all start? Do they come to you with a shoe, a bunch of shoes? Do you kind of get to tweak them here and there? How is that process?
Caitlin makes it clear that choosing a signature shoe was never about moving fast. It was about making the right choice, as she shares that Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour all presented her with signature offers, but she did not want to rush a decision that would shape her entire career. For her, Nike stood for patience, attention to detail, and doing it properly from the very beginning.
Honestly, been like probably one of the coolest things I've got to do since, honestly, the process started at the end of my senior year when I was at Iowa, because I was deciding what shoe company I was going to go with. And I talked to Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, and they all offered me a signature shoe, obviously some faster than others. And you know, everybody knows Nike makes the best product. It just kind of takes a little bit longer. And so I grew up wanting to be a Nike athlete. Every kid does. Nike, yeah. Jordan, like that's the premier brand, and everybody knows that.
What truly stands out is how thoughtful she is about her identity, as Caitlin makes it clear that she does not want to reuse design or a shoe that feels like it belongs to someone else's legacy. She explains that this is not about copying a Kobe-style model, but about creating something that is clearly her own, with every detail, from the shape to the story behind it, reflecting how she plays and who she is.
Probably been like a year and a half now of like figuring out what exactly I want. And I think probably the most challenging part of it is like you want it to be unique, but at the same time, like I have to be comfortable wearing it. So I think we kind of like, you kind of take what you know you're comfortable in. Like obviously I play in a lot of Kobe's, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a Kobe. I want it to be something very unique to me and a little bit different. And I think for myself, like, you know, I kind of think about like what's kind of been important to me when I think about like shoes or sneakers. And I think like just the chaseability of them, and like, you want a certain sneaker or like you want a certain colorway. So I think that's like going to be probably the most fun part. Like, okay, great. Like you have like the mold of the shoe and like what it is and the technology that's in it. But more so, I think I'm more excited about like making the certain colorways or collabing with certain brands or whatever.
And it is not only about appearance, as she also gets into the technical side with the same focus she shows on the court, explaining that performance is just as important as style. From the cushioning to the overall feel and new features, every part of the shoe has to support how the game is actually played.
You super involved in that process as well?
Yeah, for sure. And like, obviously I'm pretty like picky about what I wear. Like I like a certain two Kobe models. So like I knew whatever I was going to put in my own shoe, it needed to be like the equivalent of that technology or even better. And it's going to be even better. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, because I think it'll get people excited about it. And I think even like the Chinese market, like I was talking to some people at Nike, like over in China, like they'll cut open the inside of the Kobe's and like show people the technology that's on the inside of the shoe, because they're like, that means a lot to them. Like they want to know what they're getting out of the product.
Right.
Wow.
So I thought that was like really
they're about
fascinating.
to cut that open? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So it better be made well.
When she says the technology going into this shoe is something Nike has never done before, it becomes clear that this is not just marketing talk, but a player who is deeply focused on every detail. And that level of care is exactly what makes it truly important.
I need that technology everywhere. So that's honestly been a huge part of, the process and the creation of the shoe is like it being comfortable and exactly kind of what I need. And the technology that we're going to put into it isn't anything that they've ever put into a basketball shoe before. So I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting.
When you step back and look at the full interview, it becomes easy to see why Caitlin Clark connects with people beyond just her stats, because this was not only about a shoe, an injury return, or basketball tactics, but about mindset, about having patience when progress feels slow, about caring enough to do things properly, and about staying grounded even as the noise around her continues to grow.
Caitlin, you're a pretty good basketball player, but you make it from here.
Jason, show them how you make it rain from downtown.
Can you hit it from here, Caitlin? Gotta make your free throws.
So right here. Yep. Hold on.
Bet you can't do that, Caitlin.
Anyone else?
Whether she is trading jokes with the Kelce brothers, explaining basketball basics, or reflecting on the long path back from injury, Caitlin comes across as someone who clearly understands who she is and where she is going, showing that she is not chasing quick moments, but carefully building something meaningful. And if this conversation is any sign, her next chapter will not just be big, but thoughtfully planned. So, let us know in the comments if you're excited for her signature shoe, and remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.